and we're going to be using some oil pastels and some Q-tips and possibly some Model Magic and glue sticks and permanent marker, and just kind of making a very silly picture of kitties just kind of creeping in to the scene, and they're going to look fluffy. So if you don't have these supplies, just grab what you have and make it work. I trust your creativity and I encourage you to be creative. So we're going to go ahead and hit go live over here on Instagram as well. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And I thought this would just be a fun, easy project for all ages and something silly to do that they could definitely put all their own personal twist on for sure. So we're going to try it a little different angle than we have been doing. I have you flat on the table, which means I'm going to spin the camera and flip you over, and fingers crossed it'll be a good angle. All right, but I won't be able to see your comments. So not very well anyway, but here we go. So we're gonna turn you around and then we're gonna flip you over, and let's tighten this up so it stays. And let me see if I can't scoot you up a little bit so we don't see so much of the floor and we see more of the table. Oh, wrong way. There we go. Okay, excellent. So I am going to start with, it doesn't really matter what we start with, but I'm going to start with a color. I'm going to hit it over here in the corner. And we know that a cat head, the top of a cat head is round. We also know that they have ears, right? And I'm going to go ahead and use some muscle with this oil pastel and get this whole guy colored in just like so. There we go. And so I'm really using some muscle. The cool thing about oil pastels is, though, you could definitely blend multiple colors together. But if you do that, the first color you want to do soft and then do some blending. Maybe the middle of my ears are going to be pink. So we'll throw some pink triangles on here. There we go. And then work on the corners like so. Excellent. Okay, so there's cat number one. So now we're going to twist, and I know it's not finished, but we're going to twist the corner here, and we're going to grab another color. Now, here's what I was talking about. If you wanted to layer colors with oil pastel. So top of cat head, and here's some ears. There we go. But this time, instead of pushing hard, I'm going to be gentle and get this whole guy filled in gently. Here we go. Fabulous. All right, so we got that filled in, but this is what's so cool. I could go in with pink on top. I could go in with a peach on top. I could even go in with a white on top. And now, whenever I use my muscles this time, I can go on top of my pastels and blend the white on top of the red, so it kind of makes like a dark pink. So that's what I'm talking about, how you can like mix colors with your oil pastels and layer them. And if you do that, first layer, you probably don't want to use all your muscles. So then we can turn the corner again, and maybe we have a kitty kind of peeking in over here. There we go. We've got some skinny ears on that cat. And again, do we want to use muscles? Do we want to layer? Maybe we'll go bold. We'll go bold purple. Now, the reason I'm using oil pastels is because I'm going to use the Q-tips here shortly to blend, like to blur the edges of my kitty, which will be kind of cool because then it'll make it hopefully look like it's a fluffy cat. And that is what we're going for. guys will have to drop me a comment and tell me where you're watching from. And maybe what you would want to do the next time. All right. And then what if we stick, actually, let's see, a guy over here in the corner. Maybe we do a cute little guy right here in the corner. Maybe it's more like a kitten instead of a kitty. Oh, I forgot this one's ears in the middle. Didn't leave myself much room, a little bit of room. There we go. Maybe this one will start kind of hard and then go more gentle as we go towards the center and the bottom. And then we can use our white again and do some blending. All right. There we go. Excellent. Okay, and we could squeeze one more friend right here. Let's go soft with the blue. And then you can even use the edge of these kind of like this to get a nice soft layer. But if yours are messy like mine are, you might want to clean them off before you rub them on the paper because it will just rub a big old mess all over the paper. There we go. And then I go on top with the white. Yes. All right. So like I said, I did soft with the blue, push down hard with the white, and really just like work that pastel into the paper. If you use enough muscle, to me, it almost looks like paint, especially from a distance. Okay, so now here is where the Q-tips come in handy. So I probably need to use a different end for each of the colors unless the colors kind of match. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to rub the cat's fur. It's like I'm scribbling out of the lines. Kids would love this project. You're like, yes, you have permission to get out of the lines. Make that kitty look fluffy. There we go. And because the oil pastels are like so waxy, they're amazing for blending right up on out of those lines. There you go. Just like so. And since the orange, I think would be okay with the red. What do you think? Because you make orange with red and yellow. There we go. So cute. Okay. Now, just keep working our way around. Get all these kitties nice and fluffy. Yes. Okay. And then our last one, our little purple kitty. So it's just kind of a fun little thing. Kids will really enjoy the Q-tip part. And if you don't have Q-tips, then you can definitely just use your finger to smudge. But You'll want to use different fingers for different colors, just like we use different ends of the Q-tips for different colors. There we go. Oh, I forgot the inside of this one's ears. Can't hardly see that pink, can you? We'll put white on top. There we go. Okay, so now for fun, I was going to use some Model Magic. And this is made by Crayola. These are just like leftover pieces that I had. I think that'll work just fine. We'll just grab us a little chunk, although I'm afraid since my hands are messy, it's going to get all over the white oil pastels. Okay. I mean, all over the white Model Magic. So then we tear ourselves off. Just make a little and pinch us off some kind of even pieces. Roll this guy into a ball. Roll this guy into a ball. Now, I'm afraid it won't stay. I'm afraid because the oil pastels are like so waxy that it's just going to want to pop off, I feel like. So, oop, go figure I grab a bag glue. Go figure. Is that the only one I grabbed? Boo. Thank you guys so much for the friends that are watching. I would love for you all to make your own version of this and drop a picture of it in the comments. That would be amazing. Okay, here we go. So let's just put some glue, and then we're going to stick our little spheres on there, our little balls, and then we're going to smush them down. And now we have eyes, right? Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. Okay, so now same thing. We're going to just keep doing that, okay? So pinch off a piece, pinch off a little piece, rub us some glue, turn these into little spheres. So I'm just rolling them in my fingertips, get these little spheres. You could even be silly and make some bigger, some smaller. Or if you don't have Model Magic, why couldn't you totally use construction paper, right? Or like copy paper or whatever, and just cut out some eyes and glue them on. Okay. So same thing. And you could even make, different size eyes. That would be silly. You could make, one little eye, one big eye, some really big eyes. There we go. Okay, get us a little bit more. And I'm putting a decent amount of glue on there because it's hard to glue things to oil pastel. And I think because it's so waxy, sometimes stuff just does not like to stick to it. Like hot glue doesn't stick very well to oil pastel, which is interesting to me. There we go. Okay. Last two. Roll, roll, roll. This is really good for like hand-eye coordination, finger dexterity. There we go. All right. Those are kind of uneven, aren't they? There we go. So then what if we use our permanent marker? And this one, maybe he looks really scared. He's like, ah. Maybe this one's like over here looking at that one like, what are you doing? Maybe this one is, I don't know, is it looking straight or down a little? Maybe this one's looking over here. So I'm just using permanent marker and I'm just drawing right on top of this Model Magic. And this one has bigger eyes, so we're going to make bigger pupils. There we go. Okay, so now you've got to decide, can you do a nose? How are you going to do a nose? Um, do you even want to do a nose? Do we want to do like a nose and whiskers? So you can kind of think about that. And do you want to do like a little mouth? Now, I will say that oil pastel or permanent marker does not work good on top of oil pastel. So that's why I'm not going to use my black permanent marker. There we go. Okay. This one probably can't see much of its mouth and what's going on, right? So I'm just going to do some whiskers. Maybe this one's extra surprised. Ah! Maybe this one's just kind of normal. Maybe this one's like, what's going on over there? So you could definitely like make up a whole story. These could be characters in a story. Can have a lot of animation going on with their faces. Like, not so sure about all these cats. What do they say? A scaredy cat? Maybe this one just has a little bitty nose. Only bad thing about these oil pastels is it's really hard to do any kind of detail with these guys because they're kind of chunky, right? There we go. Yes, so silly. Oh my goodness, so silly. All right. Can we do a heart? I don't know. Kinda got a heart on there. And so the cool thing is, guys, is like, who says these little kitties can't have bows or can't have, um, you know, hats on or flowers on their head or tongues hanging out or whatever. Maybe this one has a tongue hanging out. Okay. And there we go. So this, my friends, is just a silly, cute little fun project that definitely could open up a lot of conversation about each of these cats and what their names are, what they do, what they're scared about, what they're thinking about, why they're happy or excited or sad, hungry maybe. So definitely a fun little something that you could do with your kiddos or students. And I think they would enjoy it. So thank you guys so much for watching and joining me in the studio today. I had a great time with this project, a great messy time. And I will be on here live again this week and would love to do some art with you again. Hope you have a very happy Monday, and we'll see you guys very soon.